meeting of the Mexico Beach Planning and Zoning Board is called to order. Roll call, Adrian.
Mr. Copeland.
Here.
Ms. Wilker.
Here.
Chair Bush.
Here.
Mr. Kerrigan.
Here.
And Mr. Driver.
Here. Okay, has everybody on the board had an opportunity to review the minutes of the June 5th meeting? Does anybody have any additions or corrections? Okay, can I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
I move we accept the minutes as written of
Second.
the previous meeting.
Second.
Okay, we also had a workshop on the 23rd of June, but we didn't have a quorum there, so there are no minutes for that workshop. Bill and I were the only two there. Okay, getting into the things we have to deal with today. The first is a rezoning request by the Corey family for roughly 100 acres on kind of in the back area here, and they want to change it from residential low density to tourist mixed use. Is the representative of the Corey family here? Would like to speak, sir?
I'm Jack Corey for the Corey family, and like Jim said, and the property is basically right behind here, and it's been vacant for a long, long time. We've owned it for 50, 60 years. Some of the earlier folks here would remember it was an airstrip at one point, and so we have had it for sale with our realtor friend Zach Tiles, and he and our engineer friend are here tonight. Bill now to answer some more technical questions, but I just wanted to introduce the property and our little group and say thank you all for your time and attention again. We did a discussion here a while back, and then some things that happened in the city, and so we rescheduled for tonight. Again, we are available to answer any questions.
In addition to the various types of housing that could go in, if we do approve the change to tourist mixed use, what also would you envision being used?
Well, in a general sense, we're basically looking for land use clarification for the next step or the next level where a developer would have at least stage one done. But to answer your question a little closer, the mixed use, I think would afford kind of a mixed bag, if you will. And it would continue to be subject to the city's approval of various site plans and everything that goes along with that. But we're hoping basically to have some commercial scenario available, maybe some office residents that are tied to what I've always considered the downtown or the central locale here. And then get into some clusters, some community type housing, maybe some recreation on the east side, then some larger areas would be single family. But the current zoning doesn't allow us any latitude beyond single family, although it's a lot more density, which typically that could good, but not if you wanted a mixed use, which what I think that property lends itself to. And so again, we don't have a contract, we don't have a big developer ready to go forward, don't have definite plans, but we think this would be the step in the right direction for us to market it to people that could represent the property well with what the city would agree to.
Any other members of the board have questions, Mr. Corey?
I know it's very early on in the process, but have any thoughts or have you sketched anything out on napkin access to the property? Once it becomes commercial, you've got trucks and things like that. Any
Right.
thoughts on how you get there from here?
Right, well, we had a little powwow and our good friend Zach is so familiar with the LDR, the mechanics of things that I'll let him answer some of those type questions if it's okay.
That'd be great.
Not sure what Mr. Jack exactly passed to me there, but we tried to stay away from the real technical sides. Being here tonight, it's about a year and a half culmination of meeting with the city on this property. What can we do? What are the different options? And the city attorney basically, after about a year of meeting, said your first step is, guys, you got to come back to this step. Even if we approve some of the previous stuff you've done, the land use was never properly changed back in the day. So we'd like to we'd like you to move forward with that. So what's the best land use for you? Well, general commercial. If we had general commercial, we could go do whatever we want. Tourist commercial would be next best, but that's gonna allow you about 1,500 units if we went with one of those. And with talking to council and some of the staff, we could probably never sell that to the community to increase it from 522 to 1,500. So a much lower density allows 2 per unit is the tourist mixed use, but it does allow you some commercial different mixed uses. So we're going from 1,500 we could ask for. We do have 522 now if you just do the 87 acres times 6 per unit. So this will allow a lot less. So that was, we thought it would be more of a peace offering than coming up here offering, asking for general commercial. We understand Mexico Beach is very hesitant to change, and we don't have a developer. There's probably 6 different ideas on access. Do we work the same code? Do we do this? Do we do that? But we're just trying to avoid the, because none of it means anything what we say. None of us here are gonna develop this property. We are looking for, somebody that can appreciate it, and they have their own ideas to bring to council for approval before anything can be done.
How are you gonna get to it?
They don't know. I think they own 6 different accesses.
Yeah, I think that's up to the developer, once they sell it.
It's a Corey property, they have 6 different legal ways they can get to it. Now, nobody wants it on their road, but property exists.
Zach, could I ask?
Yes, sir.
I represent a lot of the people on 38th Street who could not be here, and our biggest concern, not as with the development per se, but that we've got a bridge going in right there from 36th to 40th Street. There is a small area right there that is owned by the Corey family, the rest of it is St. Joe property. Our biggest concern is we do not want a lot of traffic being turned into our neighborhood. If they could guarantee us that, I think everybody would be supportive. If they can't guarantee that, we're against it.
I don't see how they could guarantee that, but they could ask for 500 units today and don't need approval. They're going down to 200.
Well, I don't know when they come across that bridge, once they come in, I don't know how much land they're gonna take from the Corey property right there, and whether they would allow a road to come in right there. I mean, I don't know what the state's gonna do on it.
I don't think it's practical to access it there, Mr. Gary, but I don't think there's any way the Corey family's gonna say, we'll do it, but we won't go on these 6 streets.
Yeah,
Understand the neighborhood's concerns, don't blame them.
yeah, that's our biggest concern there, and that, everybody that I talked to said, hey, we don't have a problem as long as they can guarantee us they're not gonna turn all this traffic.
They've all been in my office, and everybody from each street has a little group and the same exact offer.
Yeah.
If you just won't go in our street, we can support this.
Now, may I say that we would certainly, during the process, work with the next group that would develop it to be sensitive to various needs in areas that are residential, without saying per se exactly what we do, but we're not just gonna blast through there and act crazy.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't do that, it's just the fact that that neighborhood is quiet right now.
Well, see, we would be involved during the contract process of them gaining approval to the site plan of what they wanted to do. We would still be in a position to encourage being reasonable, and we would certainly do that.
And on your side of the bridge, Jeremy, to put much traffic there, they have to build another bridge, which costs wise, that little bridge is $4 million. So, I mean, it's not realistic, but I don't know how they
That,
put
what
an
about that
asterisk.
land right there, some of that land is not able to be developed because it's still swampland, I
Correct.
think.
Yeah.
I don't know how that backs up to that little area where
There's
we are.
a little bit of uplands and some, some wetlands there, I mean, not a whole lot of room to do on it. Unless they build a bridge, and that's not, I can't see anybody doing that, but we can't speak for the next guy.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
We lose track of time, but 4 or 5 years ago, Corey submitted for a permit to the Corps of Engineers. They had a fairly developed scheme of what they proposed to build, which was a mix of houses and apartments and condos. Boat docks, fill in the canal that's by the 36th Street Bridge, and build houses on the other side. Is all of that now out the window?
Well, according to the most recent rulings by the city 6 months ago, all of that has been out the window because the property is is residential low density. So therefore, back 18 years ago when all that was passed with the Corps of Engineers, it was not passed with the city land use. So the city
correct.
Love to hear it.
Zach, any thoughts? There's certain percentages that must be met for that 10%, 10%, 10%, and at least 10% has to be residential. From your experience in the real estate business, is there any kind of developer type that you feel this would be their sweet spot? Is it a residential, hotel, industrial? You're going to have to spread it out to meet the requirements. So
I don't see industrial being practical at all. I see it being a mix of some condos, some single-family homes, and commercial space right here. If I had the money to do it.
Right.
But that's the few people we've had that have sketched it out. We had a California guy last year that passed, but they were drawing, ideas like that.
Okay.
But the beauty of it is, at that stage and at that level, both for the public's concern and the city's, it will be all laid out in black and white, cleaner and simpler than we could express it now. We're just trying to set the stage for that to come about so that we can move forward.
Yeah, it would really be difficult to suppose what's going on back there, and regardless of what somebody proposes, if before a development order or anything is going to be issued, it has to come before us, before the council.
Yeah, I think
So
you-
it's
I think you
really
guys
putting the horse before the barn to kind of suggest what might go in back there, because it could be anything.
So we find that in order to market the properties better and avoid what we had, as long as we had in recent years with another order parcel, we were just trying to stair step into it.
Stan, does anybody in the audience like to address the board? All right, thank you. Discussion by the board?
It sounds to me this is just a first step. It will reduce the number of units from what it could be now, and anything in the concerns with traffic in the streets, there are going to be a lot more coming before the city to get approval to do what they're doing. So this is just sort of a first step. I don't see any problem with approving it, because they're going to have to come back with whatever plan they come up with and satisfy the residents about traffic and all of that. So I don't see any problem with it at this time.
Anyone else? No. I think generally the things we need to worry about, it generally meets the requirements of the LDR right now. Anything further to come from the developer if we do go ahead and rezone it. So is anybody on the board prepared to make a motion as to whether or not we recommend the city council either accept or reject the rezoning of this from low-density residential to mixed-use terrace?
I'll make a motion that we follow staff recommendation and rezone from low density residential to mixed use terms.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we recommend that the city council approve rezoning the property in question from residential low density to tourist mixed use. Roll call vote.
Mr. Copley.
Yes.
Ms. Welker.
Yes.
Chair Bush.
Yes.
Mr. Kerrigan.
Yes.
And Mr. Driver.
Yes.
Excuse me, may I say one final thing?
Sure.
Thank you again for y'all's time and attention. Y'all know Mr. Phil and I get to travel back to Quincy.
Hey.
and thank
It's
you.
your
We'll
meeting
see y'all
too.
again. Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next issue before us is another rezoning request to change some property on 15th Street from low-density residential to general commercial. And the location of that property, it's butts right up to what is generally zoned general commercial right now. So is the respondent, the proponent here for that, would you like to address the council, please?
Yes. The main thing we want to do, we're trying to sell our property, and we have not been able to sell it as residential low density, because we got commercial property around it. At one time, the city had made a, where you can see on that little drawing right there, if they wanted to include it in the residential, in the
the board? Or was that all? Does anybody in the audience have any questions?
You're gonna reach, want to rezone as commercial, exactly what uses do you? I mean,
General
We're
commercial.
gonna be like, our house is right across from this
General
property.
commercial.
So,
We want to, we're not developing it. This is another case where we're not developing it. We want to make it a general, piece of general commercial property, which is the same as the rustic sands across the street. And all the property behind it, part of the property behind it. It's bordered by the highway and that little road that goes down there, Palm. I forget what the heck that name of that is right there. Sir?
That's my property, up about between rustic sands and your property.
Oh, I was talking about the road. There's a roadway on one side and a roadway in front.
yeah, it's.
Commercial property all around.
Our street cul-de-sac where our property, our residential.
Right. You're across the street.
Yes.
Is it La Siesta? Is that?
No, ma'am, it's.
Paradise Cove?
Kitty corner to Paradise Cove.
So it's across from the post office?
Yes.
Yes. It's across from the Seventh Street.
Yeah.
At the end of Seventh.
It's at the end of Seventh.
It's further west from the post office.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it?
It's about a block further west from the post
There's
office.
a sign out in front of the
It's
property.
directly across from Seventh Street.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, 7th Street. When you come down 7th Street, you're right in the center of the property.
Okay, but width-wise, where does it go?
It goes from rustic sand, or from that gentleman's property, right corner right there.
Rustic
My
Sands
property.
to Seventh, from Rustic Sands to
Yes, I
Seventh.
haven't paid for that.
Yeah, they see our double wide mobile home down there, they think it's a part of
I
Rustic Sands,
see,
but it's
okay.
not.
All right.
It's not, it's, private property.
But
Okay.
it's general
So-
commercial. Your property is general commercial.
So,
It's residential right now, that's what I'm told.
Not according to that map right there.
Is it already,
Let's see, we need to get this straight.
Yours was always general commercial there.
well, the one time, when Mr. Mahler was.
Where is he talking about now that general commercial is still in the?
Right here.
Right there, okay.
He had that,
According to the land use map we're currently working off of, everything to the east of the canal where it crosses 15th, with the exception of about 20 yards to the west of the canal, is all general commercial.
Except for my piece of property.
No, no, according,
Is this a piece of property, is the question?
Is that one, that's his?
Is this a piece of property?
no, he's talking about the one right here,
The pink one,
That's in general commercial.
right here.
the big, it's a big piece.
It's within that big piece.
Right here is what he's talking about.
Oh, okay. Right, oh, I got you, right, this little area that's in that.
The pink line.
Gotcha,
Yes.
real faint lines there,
And we
right.
don't have enough general.
Well, they
commercial
changed it
property.
again.
Yellow is residential, red is commercial.
I was commercial right
This is paradise. I only know the map.
Yeah, based on the current land use map, he's surrounded by general commercial.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, granted the general land use map.
I didn't.
Well, I mean, I can't see somebody wanting to have residential right in the middle of that. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Is Rustic Sands just to the west of this property?
Yes.
Yes.
It's basically just on the edge. Rustic Sands is, yeah.
Because.
Okay, any comments from the audience?
Yeah, I guess my concern about.
Step to the microphone, please. State your name and address.
I'm Alex Hogan. I live on 7th Street. And my concern is developing that to a commercial. 7th Street is already a speedway. It's a connector from 15th all the way to 98.
And late at night or any time, you'll have cars going through there 40, 50 miles an hour. Okay. Now, should the police monitor it? Absolutely. Do they? Not to my knowledge. But be as it may, the concern that I have, and we have on 7th Street, I believe, is the increase, if you change that to commercial, will that increase the flow of traffic? That is my concern. That's right, and I'm not sure what the definition of general commercial is, to be honest with you. I was told that they can also make high-density housing there.
Any housing, any commercial use.
So that itself would increase possible flow of traffic. So that's,
Any other concerns from the audience?
John?
Sir?
I would like to just...
Sir, microphone please. Name and address.
John Van Horn, 426 7th Street, next to the last house on the right, going toward 15. 7th Street already is like 285 in Atlanta right now, and it's loud, you know, all times of the night. And I think to put something other than low-density housing, like it is right now, in that area. I mean, we can hear the music from Rustic Sands already. Not that I don't like music, but you know, it's just too busy down through there already, and I think this would add to it.
A lot of people are concerned that that's already, everything over there is already zoned general commercial, except for that one piece of property.
Okay, yeah, like I said, Rustic Sands is commercial.
That's fine.
And that's kind of noisy.
That's fine, that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Y'all are familiar with the, a little one street with a cul-de-sac called Paradise Cove? Okay. We're thinking that if you put in another Paradise Cove with single-family lots for single-family houses, that would be beautiful and that would be wonderful. But we don't want any more traffic with high-density dwellings or commercial, like stores or businesses. We want to keep it residential, single-family housing. Thank you.
And you live on 7th Street?
That's my husband. Yeah, I'm Ginger Van Horn. I live on 426 7th Street.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
We just bought a lot in Paradise Cove, lot 12. We were wanting to build a house there. Our concern is that was a little cul-de-sac, a residential area. And we're afraid, you know, we don't know if we want to build a house there now, if it's going to, you know, cause our value to go down on our house. If there's going to be something besides because that was all zoned residential around there, across the street where we bought our property. And we tried to find a lot in Mexico Beach to build our home. We live here, we work in Panama City. And our concern now is we've bought this piece of property. We were going to be building a house soon, but you know, it's going to decrease our value because like the property across the street from Paradise Cove, the one in question was zoned residential. And when we bought our property, it was all residential down there in that cul-de-sac. So, you know, we wanted a residential area to build our home in. So that's our concern. My name is Sheila Alston. My husband's name is Marshall Alston.
Thank you.
Chairman Bush, we did get a couple of emails. You can see one from Charlotte and Rusty Davis opposing, as well as one from
And
Stephen.
the rationale for the opposition?
They are concerned about the potential of a commercial enterprise next to the lot that they purchased, much like you just heard.
Okay.
The next one is from Stephen, I can't read it very well without my glasses, Padigo, I think. They are opposed to the change as well. They think the commercial property is not a good idea. The road in the Paradise Cove is designed for limited traffic, and they're concerned about lighting and things of that sort.
A lot of different things, yeah. My name is Sue Hogan, and I'm also at the end of 7th Street. And we just purchased 2 years ago and moved here and purchased on the, you know, we were doing a residential area across the street from us and everything, and so, and she's in worse shape than we are, so I just think it's important to consider those that have bought homes and everything in a residential section and then having it changed after you've settled to something different.
Anyone else? Discussion by members of the board?
How large is this piece of property?
5 acres.
Anyone else?
To me, here it says staff recommended approval of the rezoning request. Can I maybe get some input from staff on why you made that recommendation?
We did it based on the fact that it was like a piece of property carved out from a larger commercial zone, as well as the commercial, not directly adjacent, but kind of catty-cornered from that. In other words, this would not be spot zoning at all, but just a continuation of the commercial.
Anyone else?
I understand the gentleman in the audience, your property is bordering on the west side, is that correct?
My property is between Metcalf property and Rustic Sands Drive. My property is on Rustic Sands Drive, 510 feet.
So it'll be the west of the one in question.
Right, that's what I thought. And are you,
I have 4 building lots there.
in,
Commercial?
I guess, yeah, is it so?
It's zone commercial. Zone commercial.
It's on commercial.
It is zone commercial now.
Well, that's fine with me. I have no objection to Mr. Metcalf going commercial. The only problem that I have is they have Rustic Sands and Mr. Metcalf has built up their soil above mine and caused me to be able to drain ditch in front.
If I'm not mistaken,
It's not deep enough.
the attachment makes it look like it's further over.
And since, see, when had the city sewer put in, the sand, good bit of that soil, and he built up, and he owns the Taylor property. He bought the Taylor property behind him. So, so he just built that also. He built up the stone property, which, see, I go back to this PK, basically owned Rustic Sands. She sold it to Mr. Moore. And Mr. Moore was trouble all the time, as long as until he sold Steve and Brayton. So, I've had problems with the Rustic Sands property. Most all the time, I owned it until Ringlock bought it. And get along with him fine. And the only complaint I have with Mr. Metcalf, when he bought the stone property, there was a ditch that drained my property.
Sir, that really has nothing to do with what we're discussing here today.
Well, I have no complaint about him being commercial.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Anyone else on the board?
Can I ask for clarification, the actual location of this map here to me is a little confusing. I pulled it up on Google Maps on my phone. I show Rustic Sands, and there is a segment between the Rustic Sands Road over to 5th Street that comes up in the post office and then goes back east of Rustic Sands. Is that is not?
There's 2 pieces of property to the east of Rustic Sands. The gentleman that just spoke owns the one on the west side, and then the petitioner owns the one to the east of that.
Okay, within that block.
But there's still
within that
both,
angle of Rustic Sands.
Yes,
Okay.
and one gentleman is already zoned general commercial.
What map are you looking at that says it's already zoned general commercial? Because the one that was up there does
The big
not
one-
show that.
the big one right here.
Which one's the most recent?
The huge one.
Can you go back to the one we did the red area?
This is dated June 2016.
That's what I was thinking, it was this one right here.
No, we're talking over here.
Well, Okay, because that's where 7th Street is over.
7th Street's right.
7th Street is down here. That's why I'm thinking it's this one right here, because here's 7th Street coming up at it.
So the map would be correct, it's not commercial.
See, that's yellow.
Yeah, you're correct.
I guess where the confusion is.
Okay,
He had it, this is right here.
See,
Is the majority of the commercial property that is surrounding this gentleman's lot, is that primarily rustic sands?
no, the commercial property extends all the way from the north side of the Mexico Beach city limits down 386, the north side of 15, all the way down to the canal that crosses 15th. We're talking a third of a mile road front.
But the existing commercial property that's all in red, is that primarily rustic sands and
No.
it's across, it's not?
Rustic Sands is part of that.
But Rustic Sands is not the primary part of it, it's a portion.
I have a neighbor behind the property, not asking a question.
It just seems that rustic sands is sort of like a residential area.
Residential housing is allowed in general commercial. Okay, from what I can see, as far as the analysis is concerned, if it is rezoned to general commercial, it generally meets the intent of the comp plan and the LDR. Any further development would be up again to the contractor. One of my concerns over the past 18 months is we really don't have much general commercial property in Mexico Beach. If businesses want to come in, there's not many places they can go right now. This being just kind of like an island in the middle of a general commercial area, it makes perfect sense to me to rezone it into general commercial. Residences could still go in. Hey, y'all have already had an opportunity to say what you think, okay? We're in board discussion. Anything further from the board? Can I get a motion from the board on either to recommend to the city council to approve or disapprove the request to rezone the property in question from, low density residential to general commercial?
Yes, following staff recommendation, I make a motion that we rezone from residential low density to general commercial.
Do I have a second? I'll second it. Okay, motion's been given and seconded that we recommend to the city council that they approve the rezoning request from low density residential to general commercial. You have a vote?
Mr. Coakley?
Yes.
Ms. Wilker?
Yes.
Chair Bush?
Yes.
Mr. Kerrigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Driver?
No.
Okay, by majority vote, the motion passes, and we will recommend to the city council that they approve the rezoning of the property in question from low density residential to general commercial. Okay, the next issue before us is a commercial development order for a pole barn to go in the storage lot currently behind the post office. Is the petitioner present, or anybody to represent the petitioner present? Do we have any comment from the audience?
I'm not sure what a pole barn is.
It's a structure made from telephone poles with a roof on top of it, and it's open on the sides. It's like a huge carport.
What is it used for?
Storage, generally.
So is it just going to be like a continuation of the boat storage?
I would say they're already got some pole barns in there. This would be, I would assume, another area to put boats under that, like they're already on the other areas in there.
Yeah, if you look at the screen, what you see up in this neck of the woods, you can see my little hand going back and forth. Those are existing storage sheds. The two back here are existing. This is the one that's proposed right there.
Discussion by the board?
20 by 60, 1,440 or something like that square feet. So, not very big.
So basically, that's in that big storage area where all the boats and
Yeah.
For the
everybody
space
are right
place,
now.
that's
They just wanna
correct.
Yes.
Put covered storage instead of open storage.
That's exactly correct, right.
Don't see any problem with that.
Okay, well, there being no discussion by the board, it generally conforms to the comp plan and the LDR. Would somebody like to make a motion that we recommend that the city council either approve or disapprove the development order?
I'll make a motion that they either approve or disapprove.
No, they have to either approve or disapprove.
Right, excuse me, approve or disapprove.
Okay, so it's been moved that we recommend that the city council approve the development order. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we recommend to the city council that they approve the commercial development order for Pole Barn. Vote, please.
Mr. Copley?
Yes.
Ms. Wilker?
Yes.
Chair Bush?
Yes.
Mr. Kerrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Driver?
Yes.
Okay, next bit of business is a development order for 111 32nd Street. The petitioner desires to build a boathouse. Mr. Cathy or anybody here like to address the board?
Mr. Giles,
Bring Lee up like Mr. Jack did me. I get stuck here. Lee and I bought this house a year or two ago. As in most houses on the canal, the main desire is to have a boat slip there. So at this point in time, I've never built a boat slip. We've been working with Mel. He explained to us the process is that anything built on the canal must come before you and guys in council. So we're here asking for a boat slip. We're asking for about as small as you can possibly build a boat slip there at 16 feet wide. The neighbor with the two lots to the left, or the house and the lot to the next of us, has sent in a letter of support. Haven't been able to make contact with the other ones. But we would like to be able to build a small boat slip there.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Anybody in the audience care to comment? Open for discussion among board members.
Zach, you said that the gentleman to the left, the lot that's for sale, you've got a letter from him stating that he's okay with it?
Yes, sir. Mr. Paul owns that house and that here and here. We've met with him multiple times. He's happy with our design. He's going to work with this.
And it's much smaller than his, it appears. The footprint is accurate, or is it similar in size?
No, I think he's 34 feet out. Where do we want? We only were asking for 16.
But your neighbor, I don't see how you're gonna fit, if the lot that's for sale is not your lot, right? It's not part of the house that's there.
You want to pull that picture back up?
Yeah. So,
He's going to go, we're going to come in and have to slide. You're not going to get a big boat. So he's going to go with his existing permit here and pull straight in.
okay, that was
We'll pull in-
my question.
We'll pull
'cause-
in and go that way.
You'll be
All right,
slide
so then, there's two more houses down there in the end that have access to the canal. Not much, but they have some access. If one of them wanted a boat slip, it doesn't leave a whole lot of room
No,
if you
in
put
my
yours out
mind,
that far.
I don't disagree with that. This guy's just got a handful of feet. I don't think they would ever have an argument to put one. They do all a little bit on the canal. I think this guy's gonna build a straight out slip and can still do his, but I think this guy in the corner, I don't think, if we were there or not, would be able to build.
Right, okay. So the 16 feet, does that include the 4-foot dock?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so end to end, or width-wise, out in the canal, is 16 feet.
12 foot
30
depth for a boat. Yes,
And
sir.
30 long.
Yes, sir.
And there are 50-foot lots down there?
No, there's only 30 feet.
So you're going end to end of your lot? No setbacks?
Sir.
And if the gentleman on the lot we're talking about, if he faces his out, then you're gonna have enough room to go around his and get in there? Or somebody would, not you?
He's got about 60 feet or so there.
It's 50.
Okay, he's 50. Yes, a smaller boat. This won't be sold, you know, or be used by somebody with a big old yellowfin or anything. But a smaller bay boat, kind of on this back end of the canal is what you're gonna be able to get.
I was just wondering if you'd be better off if you did like the slips that we did on the canal where to angle them, both of those angled, it'd give them both a better shot in.
He's got a lot more width right here.
He does.
He's fine. We're in the tight spot because of this spillage over here from Waterside Village.
Yep.
Which is another story, another time, you know, with DEP violations there, but that's where we're working on. So we're gonna have to come in and turn pretty hard. But since he's happy with that, you know, we're working with what we've got, I guess.
Okay.
It's not ideal, but that's the best we can do right now.
And that's the letter we have, Mel, that the gentleman in that lot's.
Yeah, Paul
fine.
Jackson.
Okay.
Mr. Bill, the reason he would do that is because he has an existing boat dock. He's just gonna repair, that way he doesn't have to go through the whole permit, he doesn't have to do all this. Because he's
Right.
repairing an existing dock.
Yeah, I saw that it's to the east or west
Yes, sir.
on the lot
Far
side,
west
which
of
would
the
give
lot.
you guys more
That's right.
get in. Okay. Just didn't want to box anybody out in the future.
Board, comment? Well, again, one thing that's important here is that it passes the scrutiny of all the environmental requirements. Okay, that's already been certified
Right.
for the environmental requirements and appears to conform to the comp plan and the LDR. So given that, can I get a recommendation from the board that we either recommend the council approve or disapprove the development order for the boathouse?
I'll recommend that we approve the development order for the boathouse as submitted.
Can I get a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we recommend that the city council approve the development order for the boathouse. Vote please, roll call.
Mr. Coakley?
Yes.
Ms. Wilker?
Yes.
Chair Bush?
Yes.
Mr. Kerrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Driver?
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, that's all the business we have here on the agenda, formal business. Does anybody in the audience have anything that they'd like to bring up briefly? Okay, miscellaneous, we have a workshop scheduled tomorrow night here in the Civic Center to work on our comp plan. It has to be renewed or rewritten every 7 years. And the current comp plan basically doesn't say what we want our city to look like. So before we can develop a new comprehensive plan, which is we will use in planning for the city for the next 10 to 20 years, we need input from the public into what you want this city to be. And that's the purpose of this workshop. Okay, unfortunately, I don't think the word has gotten out that this is going on. So, I mean, if you care about your city, or you know anybody that does care about the city, and wants it to look like a certain thing in the future, you need to come to this meeting. Because based on what the majority we hear from the people in this meeting is what we're going to recommend to the city council that the city's going to look like in the future.
I'm coming.
Okay, we need to get the word out right now. We need everybody here as possible. Everybody will have an opportunity to say what they think, but what we're basically going to do is set a goal as what this city's going to look like 10 to 20 years from now. And it will be a workshop, so everybody will have an opportunity to participate.
Jim, there's also email, if they can't come, that they can send.
Yeah, we have a Gmail address right now that you can provide comments on what you'd like the city to look like in the event you can't attend tomorrow night. And unfortunately, I don't have my comp plan notebook with me, but I believe it's comp plan.
It's mbcompplan@gmail.com.
mbcompplan@gmail.com. Again, anybody that provides a written comment, we will discuss at the meeting what you comment on there. Okay, Mel, various and sundry items?
I have nothing, Your Honor.
Yeah.
How much advertising were you able to get out that you had talked about? I mean, how much was distributed around the city?
None.
Did get a Facebook post last week, that's about it.
Well, you publicized it in your.
Yeah, I know, but never mind, I will.
Well, we could still put signs up, I guess. Meetings
Not by tomorrow.
There was also mentioned in an article in the paper, but and this isn't the last.
No, but this is the most important one because it determines the direction we're going to go in.
So if there's no advertisement that's really gone out, except very limited amounts, I just want the board to keep in mind that if it becomes necessary necessary to perhaps revisit this again, I think it would be something that you ought to consider, not just saying that, okay, this one shot is
I
good.
understand.
Because if people don't know
Yep.
about it, y'all,
I understand. Okay, I have one other issue too. We need to get an alternate chairman. I'm going to be gone the 23rd of August and the 16th of October to Texas and the 1st of November through the 12th of November to Colorado. So I'm not going to be here for some
I
business.
think I did it on his cruise, so.
So
Experience.
would anybody like to stand in as alternate? Okay, I nominate Bill.
Oh, that's what I get.
Can I have a second?
I have a second.
It's railroading, but I'll be happy to do it.
Thank you.
Okay, Bill volunteered, so you're now our alternate chair. Okay, Mel, various and sundry.
That's it.
Okay, that's it.
Can I ask one question? And I have no, the Save Old Mexico Beach Facebook site, I have no idea who's behind that, but has it been publicized on that? Because I know we get posts on there.
Rick Moore monitors that, that's his site.
Okay, well, then, you know, if he can put that out, because I don't know how many Facebook friends he has, but I know that gets spread out.
Lisa, can you send something out for all the people to take the Beachcomber?
So, excuse me?
Can you, Pat, your people to get the Beachcomber, can you just send an overnight out to them and let them know what's going on, in addition to what you've already done in the Beachcomber?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been putting word out to people I've seen, but we haven't had anything go out officially.
I'll try to contact Rick Moore tonight too.
Okay, thank you. Okay, no further business before the meeting. Meeting's adjourned.
Yeah. Did you own or roll open a house on?
Jim, what's that